Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 18th of May, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar index sinking low. We're seeing quite a lot of green on the screen, so markets recovering from a pretty bad week last week. But the dollar sinking lower again, and now clearly through the medium-term clouds. So looks like we're going for another low. We've got downside targets, one here of 5% lower on the short-term chart, and of course the long-term chart we've got up to 20% lower. So that dollar weakness is coming back as a theme. That means the euro is looking stronger against the dollar and breaking through the daily cloud there, so more bullish. And if we look at sterling, we're sitting at 141.83, stronger sterling, weaker dollar. And against the euro, 116.45, back into bullish territory. So now on all three time frames bullish, upside potential of around 13% still in train. Bitcoin, a little bit of a recovery to $45,000, but this break of the medium-term cloud and the activation of the downside target to $30,000 is key. The target for $107,000 will be broken if we move below this thrust column, which was started at around 30,000. So if we go into the 20s, that will deactivate the upside target. So that's the long-term picture to watch. Of course, the short-term will play out on these shorter-term charts. If you're trading Bitcoin, use the 1-minute charts and targets. The S&P 500 index was down slightly yesterday, but still bullish on the longer and medium-term charts. The Nasdaq also just struggling short-term. Might have just bounced on the daily cloud, so that will be key. If we go below this low, we will move below the cloud. That will be the first time since the start of the virus last year, last year. Looking at the futures, looking strong today. The S&P future up 1/3%, the Nasdaq E-mini up 0.6%, suggesting a strong move in the US market today. The VIX volatility steady below 20 again. The fear index receding. FTSE future is up 0.8% this morning, and the DAX future is up 0.6%. So markets now looking like they're in recovery mode. Japan was up 1.6%, and the Hang Seng was up 1.27%. And in India, despite the virus and a pretty powerful cyclone there this morning in Gujarat, the market is rising quite strongly. India still looking very strong. The Aussie market holding on to the 7,000 level, just struggling still to make a new high. We'll take a look at the energy mix in a minute, but looking at commodities, again, a recovery here. Wheat up 1%, corn up 1.4%. These charts all popping and breaking out, so commodities really running. Gold looking set to break $1,900 now, clearly back into medium-term bullish territory, and we've got upside targets of 1916. The 1867 target was given and now met. You can't ignore these targets, and so that's looking pretty bullish now for gold. Silver also on the verge of breaking this big ascending triangle. That will be very positive for the silver metal. And if we look at copper, we're up strongly here as well. Amazing run over the last 12 months or so. The US 10-year yield sitting at 1.65%, and the 30-year bond 2.36%, and the Bund in Germany struggling to get back above that 170 level. This is looking very toppy still as a chart, and the fact that we're below this 170 mark for a little while is worrying for the bond market in Germany. Looking at the energy mix, we've got Brent crude pushing higher, just struggling to break this 70 level, but very close to it this morning, up 1/3%. We are still very much in the range. An ascending triangle potentially building there, so that's certainly a bullish pattern, but we need to wait for the break, and the fact we are hitting resistance and the seasonal effects is a factor. We were bullish on nat gas this week, and we jumped yesterday, so that's looking strong. We've got further upside targets there. Keep an eye on your point and figure targets. RBOB looking stronger. And if we look at coal, sitting at 78.20, still bullish, despite falling a bit yesterday, still in the bull trend with upside targets to play for. And emissions sitting at 56.48, pushing higher again. Gas this morning, we've got TTF sitting at 25.85, still in an uptrend. And if we look at some of the power markets, we've got German power sitting at 68.05, just holding those high levels, still looking pretty bullish on the chart. Good upside targets on the 1-minute chart again. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.